G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Now if you love today's content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and tell me what you think about it down in the comments below. Thank you. Posted by user Soldier of Solitude 00. Titled, I, male 25, found out that my girlfriend, female 30, had a male-female-male threesome. I can't get it out of my head, and I want to end things sooner rather than later because of it. How should I properly go about handling this? My girlfriend and I have been dating for about half a year. We get along great and share a number of things in common. She's my first girlfriend and first sexual partner I've ever had. I've never really put forth much effort into dating because of constant rejection and poor self-esteem. After becoming more self-aware, I decided to start making changes in my life to better myself and my circumstances. I started eating healthier, exercising 6 days a week, and started CBT therapy. I consider myself a much more improved person mentally, socially, physically, and spiritually. However, I recently learned something about my girlfriend's past that has me seriously reconsidering our relationship. I recently discovered that she engaged in an MFM threesome in the past. I know it's foolish to let something of the past mess up the present, but it's really bothering me for some reason. I've always frowned on casual sex, so imaging her with 2 guys is basically the straw that's breaking the camel's back. I'm doing my best not to judge because I know I don't have a right to, but this particular scenario is really putting a strain on my mind. After sitting and thinking about it for a week, I've decided that this relationship is not worth the mental exhaustion I've been dealing with the past few days. I have decided that it's best that we go our separate ways so she can find someone who can fully accept her, and I can find someone I'm 100% comfortable being with. How do I go about handling this the mature, right way, so nobody gets hurt, and what tips and advice do you have so that I don't run into the same situation in the future? I'm eager to hear from you all, and your advice is much needed and appreciated. Thank you, and take care. Fun Nefariousness 724 says, some things are deal breakers. I felt the same way about a boyfriend who admitted to me that he had cheated on a college girlfriend 15 years ago. I hate cheaters, and I just couldn't get past it, so I broke up with him. If you really can't move past it, then you owe it to yourself to end it. Thank you for sharing this. CC33 says, you've already decided to break up with her, so the mature thing to do is to do it ASAP. Stop wasting her time, get in contact with her immediately. Tell her that the two of you aren't compatible and end it. And stop deleting your posts and reposting days later under new accounts. I do not want to lie, but I had a thought similar to that of OP, but I thought about it meticulously. Would I leave someone who loves me for something that cannot change? That question defined me. Not. I don't think she would leave someone for something she can't control. It's her past. She would have some insecurities maybe, but that would be solved over time. She deserves better than this. If you really loved her, you wouldn't judge her for something she can't change. Something she can't change and may not want to change. OP posted this same question on 3 subreddits, and at least one a few days ago before he deleted it. OP has responded on these 3 posts, and said he would be perfectly fine if it were female, male, female, or if she had more male partners. It was the MFM that fed his insecurities that he couldn't get over. After reading OP's responses, I honestly think that OP wouldn't be able to accept any woman that wasn't a virgin. OP has lots of maturing in his future. Alien Goddess 91 says, I would be honest so both of you can move on more quickly. Don't be rude or name call or shame her, just say it's a deal breaker for you. And OP replies, I agree, and I never planned on shaming her or being rude. That's just wrong and unnecessary. Love Alert 911 says, she's my first girlfriend and first sexual partner I've ever had. I believe that is the heart of your problem. There is no mature way to break up with someone over something they did before they even knew you. Ultimately, if she cares for you, She's going to be hurt not only because you dumped her, but because she thought she could be honest with you. Honesty and intimacy go hand in hand. People tend to open up with those they trust. You're probably not going to find too many women at age 30 with the limited sexual experience you have. Whether they've had a threesome or a one-night stand, just about everyone by age 30 has had sex without love or relationship intentions at least once. You may have to pursue a deeply religious girl who is 19/20 or college freshman. Truth be told, a lot of people lose their virginity by the age of 17, and by age 25, they've already gotten 8 years of sexual experiences. Eventually, when you're in your 30s, 40s, or beyond, you will come to realize that there really is no upside to discussing each other's sexual history. To quote Oscar Wilde, "Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future." Most people are happy to benefit from the bedroom lessons their partner picked up in their past, as long as they don't have any STDs. If past sexual experience is a deal breaker for you, ask those key questions early on. You may not want to know what their sexual fantasies are, and that's another can of worms. Best wishes. I'm not sure if the advice of pursuing a teen girl while you're in your 30s is the best idea. I don't think that always goes too well, but the other advice is good. I don't get why this guy cares so much about an MFM threesome. Like, he's cool with an FMF threesome, but not with one other guy? Really weird place to draw a line and being like, that's a deal breaker for me. But everyone's different, and I think it's best that these two just break up. What would you guys do in this situation? I'd like to know down in the comments below. And what do you think of this guy? Update. After a few days have passed, I've decided to do an update on my original post and inform you all of the news. Following much further elaboration and processing on my part, I decided that the relationship was not worth the mental exhaustion that I was going through. I also felt it was best for her to find someone who could fully accept her and her life decisions. I realized that it would be a tough but appropriate decision for the both of us in the long run. I calmly sat her down and explained to her that while I think that she's a great person and amazing partner, this relationship has run its course, and I don't see us working out in the long run. I didn't include the threesome as a deciding factor in the breakup, as I found that irrelevant, as well as an invitation to unwarranted hurt. She was a bit taken aback by my decision, but she later said that she understood that I came forward in telling her this. We are both in the process of moving our belongings out of each other's homes and have agreed to remain friends in the long term. I now understand that I need to be more upfront with things of this nature in order to avoid similar scenarios in the future. Overall, I'm glad that this happened and will use this relationship as a learning experience as I move along in life. I sincerely hope she is able to find someone who can accept her and love her wholeheartedly. I want to take the time to thank those who actually offered sound, constructive advice instead of resulting to name-calling and shaming. It was really appreciated and helpful. I also realize that some of you may think that I'm overreacting or being immature with my decision, and I'm aware of that. Not that I agree, but that you're free to have that opinion. Thank you again for all of your help and wish you all the best moving forward. Tyrannical Stubbs says, "You're fine to leave your relationships as you please, but I think it's silly that you're unwilling to dig into why it's bothered you so much. I'm also curious to know, A, is this the only line you draw, and are there more? And B, what litmus test do you plan on employing in the future to avoid throwing away otherwise fine relationships with investment?" And OP replies, "It's not that I'm unwilling, it's that I know why it bothered me, and I know it's not going to change. As far as your questions are concerned, A, this is pretty much the only line. B, be upfront about this in the beginning to avoid wasting time. Not that being upfront isn't the better thing to do here, but you'll find plenty of women who have had a very lengthy sexual history who still don't want to get into the topic with you, just to play devil's advocate. I, for example, married the only guy I've ever slept with, and if he had started in asking about my sexual history, I'd be uninterested in seeing him any further." Edit. To be clear, I'm not saying asking about sexual history is bad, rather, I'm commenting on the "have you had an MFM threesome" part being an off-putting question to me personally, particularly as a prerequisite to being good enough to date someone. And OP replies, "Well, that's just a risk I'm willing to take." Fartor Refatus says, "It's hard to know whether being more specific about your reasons would have been kind or cruel. You really just had to make a judgment call and hope you were right. Regardless, it sounds like she took it well, so that's a good sign. It's too bad that it didn't work out, but consider that if you had stayed, the relationship likely would have gone from great to not so great. I did what I felt was best for everyone." And I guess hearing this update, does it change your opinion on this guy at all, and the situation as a whole? Because I'm glad that it ended amicably, and that no fighting occurred and no stupid relationship pettiness happened like we see in a lot of stories. And I guess I got some more respect that he just broke it off at that point. What do you guys think? What would you have done in this situation? I'd love to know in the comments. Our next post is by user ThrowRA Significant Other Money 121, titled, "My significant other, 31 female, is well off. She is constantly buying expensive gifts for me, 25 male, even when I ask her not to. For Christmas, she wants to pay off my student loans as her Christmas present. However, we have only been dating for barely a year." Background: I've been dating a girl who let's call Trish for less than a year. We met at a friend's New Year party. I'll be honest, I was not really looking for a long-term relationship at first, as I had just got out of one. However, those thoughts rapidly disappeared. She is gorgeous, smart, and a dork like myself. The fact that she gets genuinely happy to see me means a lot. We have similar hobbies, and both work in tech. She very much has the dominant personality that makes it very hard for me to refuse her, but she isn't abusive or anything like that. There's also a fairly big age gap, but I really like her. Trish is well off. She was one of the first employees at a tech company that ended up being bought out by a larger one. I don't really know how wealthy she is, but I honestly don't care. While she does oftentimes spend a lot of money, several times she has told me money isn't an issue for her. She has also very much told me that she knows what she is doing regarding money. Monday was my birthday. She spent probably somewhere over $1,000 on gifts for me. The thing is, they were all things at one point that I made a comment about or something. She bought me a watch that I vaguely remember looking at back in February. I said it was a nice watch. So there is thought there. I tried to get her to return the stuff, saying this is way too much, but she 100% refused. For her birthday back in July, I made her favorite food, and seemed genuinely happy with this, and specifically forbade me from spending money on her. On the other hand, I am poor. I got a master's in a useless subject, and am currently working as an entry-level software developer. I have a ton of debts, and frankly, my finances were a mess. She knows how much of a mess they were because she sat down with me one day and basically untangled the mess and taught me proper budgeting, investing, etc. Last night we were talking about Christmas and what our plans are. Eventually it came to gifts, where I basically begged her not to spend anything on me forever, and that I cannot get her anything on the same level of what she bought me. She made a big deal and told me she didn't want anything like that, and she wanted her gift to be spending Christmas with me. Trish, on the other hand, said that her gift for me is she is going to pay off all my debts, so I can stop worrying about it. I really thought she was joking, but she's completely serious. Personally, I said sure, because that's pretty awesome. I feel this is insane, and I genuinely don't understand. We have been dating for less than a year. Everyone I have talked to has either said that she's joking or lying, but I know she isn't, which makes me all the more confused. I am looking for advice. I really just don't know how to respond or handle this type of thing at all. I do genuinely really love spending time with her, And if she never paid a cent, she is still easily the best person I have ever dated. Can someone help me, please? X Fallen X Lost X says, this is a difficult situation. So let's try to untangle all the threads. 1. How much debt do you have? Don't need to specify a number. Just say something like between $10,000 and $15,000. 2. Do you believe she can afford this gift? 3. Are you comfortable with this gift? 4. What do you think it will mean? And 5. What are your top 3 concerns? And OP replies here. 1. Around $50,000, most of it being student loans. 2. I believe she can, as she knows exactly how much debt I have. 3. I don't really know. If it came from a family member or anyone else, I would accept it without issue. I guess to me, I'm worried it will be something that will hang over our relationship forever. But at the same time, I've never seen her really be malicious towards me in any way. 4. She said it would make her happy if I would stop worrying about pinching every single penny. I really don't know. And 5. 1. This is going to be held over my head for our entire relationship. I will always feel guilty about this. 2. There's something else going on for why she's doing these things. And 3. I'm worried that if I accept the gift, she will eventually feel regretful about it, as I like her. Great answers. Now ask yourself how you would feel if you turned it down. What would be the effect for you? What would be the effect for her? Maybe you can take these questions, or some of them, and talk to her about them. Let her know what all of your concerns are. They are absolutely reasonable. $50,000 is a pretty sizable amount for anyone to just pay off. Throwaway 0891245 says, look, accept this money if you can see yourself with this woman for the long haul. Don't do it if you can't. Because if you can't see a future together, it can change the way you see the relationship and make you build up resentment. This woman is in love with you, and in my opinion, the way you write makes it sound like you're in love with her too. If so, congratulations. Not because of the money, because money comes and goes and only pops up in your mind when you don't have enough of it, but because you've found love, which is much harder to find and makes you feel great in the best of times and better in the worst of times. Mild-mannered Bear Jew says, I don't have much advice for you, but one thing to consider is that she might be very wealthy, depending on her equity. For a normal person with some savings, $50,000 is a lot of money. For someone with $2 million in liquid stock assets, it's about 7 months of investment returns. My point being, it may seem like a crazy gift for you, but for her, it's just like buying you a MacBook Air. This. Hard to imagine yourself in her place, but if she was an early stock option holding employee at an acquired company, she may be a millionaire several times over. If you had that much money, it wouldn't be that much of a stretch for you to knock out someone's debt to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. This is likely no hardship for her. That said, for a lot of people who like their relationships to be balanced, it sucks to be on the receiving end of such unbalanced gift giving. It really puts the pressure on you. But she wants to do things for you to essentially buy you peace of mind, which is an amazing gift. You should let her do this and respect her sincere desire to do this for you. Yes, it will be a challenge to come up with a good gift on your side, but just remember, expensive does not equate to thoughtful. You can buy or make her a thoughtful gift or experience. So I guess I throw the question to you guys listening now. What would you guys do in the same situation here? Would you accept the gift from her? Would you say to wait another year? Would you say, I don't know, pay half of it off? For me personally, I'd probably ask to take another year on the relationship and then consider my options with her there, because I myself don't think I could accept $50,000 from someone to pay off my debts. I kind of feel like it's my obligation to do so, but if I was in the same situation, I would pay off my partner's debts because I feel like that would be a nice thing to do. This is a tricky one for me. I don't think I've ever been presented with a situation like that before. Let me know your thoughts. And now we're going to read the update. So, after reading all the advice I got from you guys, I agreed to let her pay off my student loans. I've also kind of just given in and agreed that I have no say on how she spends her money on me. However, I explained that I will never be anywhere near as successful as her, so I can never really reciprocate gifts on her level. She was completely fine with this. I also agreed that come February, I'm going to move in with her, since she's asked me a fair number of times about this. So I jokingly said that could be her Christmas present, and she got extremely happy. I will be honest, I still feel somewhat uncomfortable and uncertain about everything. I still feel that there must be some sort of catch or something. I met her friends, and apparently her last 2 relationships all fell apart within a year, and it apparently came down to her somewhat forceful and dominant personality. Personally, I like that part of her, so it doesn't bother me. Anyways, thanks guys. I think I made the right choice. I'll see where this goes. Nico Theus says, "Hi there. I never had a wealthy significant other, but I grew up poor in a rich town. My friends all had the best of everything, and when we hung out they'd say, 'Hey, let's get food or go to a movie.' When I said I had no money, they'd say, 'Just get it from your mother.' I was eventually able to get them to understand that my mother didn't have money either. That was when my friends started offering to pay. 'I can't pay you back,' I protested. Finally, one of them said, 'Dude, I have $20 in my wallet. If I spend it, my mother will give me more. It doesn't matter if I spend it on me or on you and me. We might as well enjoy it.' I didn't read your last post, but I'm glad that you're letting your significant other pay off your loans. It sounds like a heartfelt gift from someone who loves you very much. I wish you all the luck in the world with your relationship. Thanks for posting this. I was the scholarship kid at the fanciest private school in a major city. I never made friends like that there. I'm glad to hear someone did. Made my heart melt a little." DoodleDogs1878 says, "I'm going to go against the grain here. I understand your worries and concerns. I think they are as valid. Oftentimes when people do something like this, we worry they will hold it against us, that they will make us feel indebted to them forever. If you're worried about this, then you need to be forthcoming and tell her. I would personally look out for red flags and warning signs, especially in moments when she gets angry. You all have only been dating for a year, so I would assume nothing major has happened. However, as time goes on, you will all get to know each other better, and that means eventually you will see her mad. If she was ever going to hold all of these expensive gifts over your head, I would assume that's when it would happen. So if she gets mad or tries to control you by telling you, 'Look at all these things I've done for you and bought for you,' I would take notes and take action. If she does that, you'll need to stop accepting gifts from her going forward. Plus, you'll need to remind her that gifts are gifts and not blackmail. If you say you were doing something out of love, then there should be no issues. Give and expect nothing in return, as they say. If worse comes to worse, you'll have to end the relationship over it. Also, I am slightly worried about the controlling personality aspect. You said you like that part of her personality, yet earlier you mentioned how uncomfortable she's making you feel by giving you all these expensive gifts. It should be noted that her trying to debate these gifts and not taking no for an answer is controlling. Also, her friend says that it has ruined her relationships in the past. Well, I'd be concerned about that because, based on what you've said, her personality hasn't changed. As I said, every time she won't take no for an answer and tries to debate her gifts, it shows she still has a controlling personality in that aspect. With all of that being said, as of the moment, I don't see anything wrong here. However, I get your concerns and I think they are valid. I think you should voice your concerns. At this point, I think only time will tell if these expensive gifts will become a problem or not. Big Futurology replies, "Totally agree. She seems really smart and generous, but things are moving very fast. It's as if OP feels obligated to move in with her because it's the biggest gift he can give. 50k is a lot of money to gift someone so early. It may not be a problem for her, but if OP feels discomfort, he's probably going to feel indebted for a long time. Relationships with big power discrepancies are never really healthy. Honestly, I think that OP should move in and live with her for a while before he accepts the money. If things get hairy, he can leave. But if he has accepted so much money from her, he won't feel like he can. And OP replies to the first one saying, "I will be honest, I've been looking for red flags and warning signs. Here is the thing. I don't really think it is truly financial abuse. I am not dependent on her income. While my salary is nothing compared to hers, I can still get by fine without too much worries or issues. I do agree, however, my biggest concern was her holding the gifts over me. However, for a different reason. I really like her, and I would still be with her even if she wasn't rich or love-bombing me, and I want her to understand that. However, if she treats me terribly or is abusive and tries to leverage the gifts as a reason to stay with her, I am just going to walk away." I really liked this episode today, and I guess I would do the exact same thing as OP in this situation. It's hard to be in a relationship with a power dynamic of that variety, and I wouldn't want to be trapped or feeling like I am trapped because of that. I feel like situations like this are enough to give anyone pause, and I would love to know what you guys thought of this situation here, and what would you do in this situation, given that it's seemingly gone swell, and I feel like, the power dynamic is going well in this relationship. Let me know down in the comments, I would love to hear from you. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to wrap up today's episode. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you did like it as much as I liked reading it, please feel free to subscribe. It's free, and you can always change your mind later if you'd like to. Also, don't forget to smash that like button. It's also free, and you can dislike later if you want to, because that's funny. Hope you guys are having a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. This has been Markee. Stay awesome, Markee Army. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.